Well, you can send anyone you want, probably in a pair. You can send 3 of them if you want. It's up to you. Or you can send all 4.
Well, who knows who could blend in there, I guess? Probably Enya and Mikey?
Sure.
I was gonna say, yeah. If nothing else, being an eye scout, like tracking something is perfect.
Okay. So Enya and Mikey.
Can Enya bring a little lamprey just so she can watch?
Sure.
I don't know the distance I can get between me and the other lampreys. I don't know my range.
Well, your molecular control generally is about the size of your swarm. The range, we'll say, is like, I don't know, miles per point. Pretty big.
Well, if I'll send one with you if I can make it that far.
Okay. So you send out an eel, you send out Mikey, and you send out Enya. Enya, give me a connect roll. Okay. With a 0. It seems like people in the cultural district of Guam are they're fairly open to communication. They're a little bit more open-minded than a lot of other parts of the city. Icepeak hangs out here, so she's not the only one. She's not the only mermaid that ever does. They seem pretty willing to help for if they hear about a violent crime. What is it that you'd like to kind of, with some of the people, any witnesses, anyone that could be helpful? What is it that you'd like to ask, or do you just want to show around the chef's picture or the sketch?
Yeah. Just, I'm assuming they have a shot of him. Yeah.
They seem to not really recognize the guy too much, but they get the feeling that he works at a restaurant. Probably, it's like some of them think that they're pretty sure he works at a restaurant. They just aren't sure which restaurant.
What's the fanciest restaurant around here?
That would probably be the what's a good French? A restaurant called the Brio Big Soul restaurant. Oh, the Alizee. Sure.
Yeah,
actually, like yeah, the Alizee then.
Oh no, I guess it'd be Le Alizee.
Yeah, Le Alizee, the fanciest French restaurant. That's the fanciest one. Do you want to try your luck out there?
Yeah. I guess it would stand out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In front of the Le Alizee restaurant, there are different marble statues of angels. 3 of them, kind of just all holding in formation, flying somewhere, kind of held up on steel wire. The actual restaurant itself is about as fancy as you would expect. Very elaborate setting, very exclusive. It is in the cultural district. It may be one of the more fancy restaurants in Stella Marie. How do you want to go about your investigation of this restaurant?
We should probably just go straight to the guy managing it. He would know all the staff.
So you want to go inside?
Yeah.
Mikey, give me a gaze roll. 3, good enough. There's already someone staring at the both of you as you walk in. There's a whole table of them. They're all wearing black suits with red trim on one of either the collar or part of the breast of their suit. There's one with just a red blindfold. He still like looks up and into your direction anyway. These are Valentine clan members. There are 3 of them seated together.
We should just keep going, right?
Icepeak.
Yes.
You feel a deep pain within the lamprey that is there, like a
Oh.
deep, resonant pain.
It squirms on whose shoulder am I on?
Probably Enya's.
Yeah, and your shoulder. It like squirms like unhappily.
Oh, hey there, little fella. Hey.
Something is uncomfortable.
The Valentine clan members begin to fold up their napkins, wipe their mouths. They turn away from you, Mikey, the one with the blindfold. Kind of, you see a smirk on his face, and he gets up from the table, and they all go off into different directions, away from their table. Their half-eaten food still on it.
Oh, suspicious.
Well, if you're uncomfortable because we're a little dressed down, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Mikey will get a little closer to Enya and Icepeak and just go, I don't think that it's the dress code that we need to be worried about.
Do you think that maybe they own this place or something?
I think that we're probably gonna have a little more trouble getting answers here than normal, but I guess we need to try.
Okay, I got your back.
But yeah, I assume a place like this would have like somebody at the doors to like greet you and seat
Yeah,
you.
definitely.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
We'll talk to them.
Yeah, the guy at the front, the host.
hostess,
Yeah. The concierge. Very tall, thin man with a very thin mustache. And he says, "Yeah." No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
I don't want him. Okay, fine. Yes.
Hi. We were just going around. We had some questions for you, or if you're the manager's in, or the head chef we could speak with.
Oh, the head chef, Monsieur Le Cane. You wish to speak with him? Yes.
I mean, if he's available, I don't. If
Oui,
not-
oui.
Okay.
Anything for la police? Hmm?
Thank you.
He quickly shuffles away very neatly after adjusting his hair. And then it takes a moment. And he finally walks back. Ah, it seems Monsieur Mr. LeCane just stepped out.
Oh, did he say where he was going?
Yes. For a smoke break out back. You can find him around the back of the building if you wish.
Yeah, we can just go meet him out there. Thanks for your help.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Come back anytime to Alizee, where we serve the finest, freshest cuts of seafood.
Yeah, Mikey gives like a nod and a smile, and yeah, they head out, or at least he heads out.
Okay. And the back alley, well, sort of at the back, you see that there people are pretty much just shuffling around. None of them really seem to be alarmed. And the guy that you are looking for, the head chef, clearly wearing a hat that denotes him as such, is sort of towards the back, towards a wall, looking down at his phone.
Enya's gonna put up an arm. Hey, we're looking for Monsieur. What was it? Wee Wee?
LeCane.
Lacane, Enya. Lacane.
Lacane.
One of the prep chefs, prep cooks, kind of thumbs back at the man in the corner with the tall hat, towards the wall in the back alley. Right over there. He's I don't know, texting his girlfriend or something. I don't know. He just kind of shrugs and goes off back into the restaurant.
Yeah, thanks. She's gonna shuffle over. Hey, Monsieur Lacane? Second of your time?
He doesn't respond.
Oh, that's okay. And she'll, like, politely, grab her wrist and stand there.
He just stands there with his back turned to you and apparently hunched over looking at something.
Uh,
I think he's busy.
Tap his shoulder.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. And she'll give it a tap.
You give his shoulder a tap.
Yeah.
His upper torso slides off.
No.
Oh.
And once he hits the ground, he just crumbles into just chunks, very thinly cut, very clean.
Mikey?
Oh, who did we lose?
Oh.
Oh, we lost Mikey.
That was weird.
Oh.
What did you miss?
I heard that there was stuff in the back. It was obvious because of his hat.
Well,
We tapped his
went
shoulder and he
dead.
fell apart into a million pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, Enya's calling you
fuck,
over.
he's dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mikey will pull out his phone, and I guess message everybody else to come out, or at least to. I guess he would have brought his stuff with just in case. So he may need to run back to the car. But he's definitely he's already taking photos of like the alley and everything like that. Enya, if you could make sure that nobody comes in or out through the area. I need to get all this taken care of.
Yeah, gotcha. And she'll start ushering people and saying that this is now a crime zone. This is probably going to piss off the restaurant people, though.
Well, yeah, the restaurant operations have to, crime zone. Crime scene?
No, crime zone's better.
Crime zone.
It's where the crime happens.
The restaurant's going to have to cease operations. Their chef is dead, apparently. And they have to deal with that. So you see that the concierge from earlier is crying into a handkerchief. Monsieur Cane! Somewhere off in the restaurant. People are pretty baffled about this. I assume you'd want to question witnesses, take forensic evidence, that sort of thing.
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I'm there for.
All right, Mikey, give me a gaze roll. Okay, you spot what looked like a very nice pair of footprints in the dust leading away. Also a little bit of blood on them, on the footprints. Somebody walked over, cut this guy, walked away likely. Yes, you recognize the chunks of this is the same guy.
Yeah, this is probably the chef. Yeah, since we have Icepeak's individual lamprey, he'll probably go over and just kind of pluck her off Enya and just go, do you mind following this? I don't want the person to necessarily know that we're following them, and I think your current shape and size would probably be perfect for that. And plus I need to get all this taken care of first.
You need me to spy on somebody?
Yes, because I need to get this evidence together so that we can both do our jobs.
I will attempt, but there is only one. There is no backup.
That's fine. I mean, you're able to relay the information with the others, right? Or if you go, that information's lost.
No, we all know what I know.
Perfect. That's what we need. Don't keep dying, I guess.
I will do my best.
Okay. Icepeak, give me a slither roll. I guess you get a +1 because it's your case. See if you can trail this. You succeed. So the footprints, once they trail off, are incredibly difficult to follow normally, but the blood, the thinnest little bit of blood, is on the air, enough so that you know you're going into the right direction, and you further get an idea of that because the pain starts to well up within you again.
Oof. Okay.
In the distance, towards, like, on a different block, sort of tucked away, are three men. It's the same ones that Mikey saw. The one in the blindfold seems to be reassuring the other two that just basically with nods, quiet, hushed tones, whatever they're talking about before the other two nod and start to walk away, going towards a car that's waiting for them. The further away those two get, the more that pain lessens, but the blood smell stays with the one that has the blindfold. He turns to kind of scan into the same direction that you slithered from.
Oh, is it?
You're going to have to roll a slither again to see if you can evade his detection. You do. As you kind of see him turn and gaze over with a blindfold on, so it's weird. You notice that there are a couple papers and like dry leaves that drift towards him, like into his direction. They kind of bounce over you. They don't touch you. And so
Interesting.
you see him kind of look again and then turn away and begin to walk off. You have a general idea that from seeing him now, like you're not super close, but you can see the type of shoe he's wearing is a very nice, expensive Italian leather shoe. That is the same shoe that left print. He has the
Okay.
smell of blood on him, but it is not the one that caused you pain within yourself. It's apparently one of his associates.
Okay, but this guy did definitely do the chef murder.
I mean, it'd be very difficult to prove, but I mean, forensically, you don't really have the evidence, and that's the nature of samurai. That's why they get away with it so often. But
Yeah.
it's your strongest intuition, I would say. This is the
Yeah.
guy who just executed your chef.
Do I risk it and follow him, or do I sneak away? I should probably sneak away from the blind guy. He's like the one guy who could probably detect me slithering about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you turn to get away. Basically, which direction do you go into?
Back toward the crime scene. I assume I don't probably move too fast.
So you're heading into the opposite direction.
Well,
Than him. Like if he was north, you're going south.
where is he headed?
He just seems to be walking directly away from you.
My curiosity. Yeah, I guess I will slither away to the group.
Okay. Something steps on you.
Oh, what steps on me?
The man in the blindfold.
Oh.
He
hold still.
He looks around. He walked into a completely different direction, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But now he is stepping on you.
Yeah.
You notice then that there are footprints leading back into the direction where you walked. So it only looked like he was walking away,
Oh, it was an illusion.
Some kind of Give me a gaze roll basically right now. You can't.
I always roll badly.
You can't determine exactly what happened here, but I will say that you are familiar with. Well, yeah, you're probably familiar with the idea of supernatural martial arts. This guy is using drift, in some way in combination with his sword. He doesn't seem to have noticed you yet, even though he just stepped on you. Until he lifts his shoe.
Okay.
What do you do?
All right. Can I cling to the bottom? Can I cling? What kind of shoe is it? A fancy shoe?
It's a fancy Italian shoe, yeah.
Can I squish myself onto the leather and look dead?
Okay, Jesus. give me a leech roll. That's a 1.
Okay.
Because I'm using your stunt. You
okay,
beat his gaze. Whoa. He seems to be looking directly at you, but he's wearing a blindfold. You can't tell. And then he kind of with a finger flicks you off of his shoe.
Okay.
And then he looks around again. And he just kind of chuckles. Must have been the wind. And he spins around quickly, facing where behind him. Gotcha. And he spins around again to look in the opposite direction. Over there? Nope. Then he waits. I know you're here somewhere. Where could it be? Up. He points upwards. Up. And then he looks down again. Down. And then he kneels down and lifts you up, Icepeak, and peeks under you. You hiding under this thing? And then he drops you. All right. Okay. And he shakes a finger around as he points around. Don't let me catch you. And then he runs his thumb across his throat and begins to walk backwards. Oh, you're dead. He makes a kissy at the air, and kisses at the air, and then he just starts walking away.
Just laying there dead, sweating.
He just whistles.
I refuse to move.
Okay, well, he walks away very, very confident that there was no one following him, and if there was, he scared them.
Yes.
He had no idea that you were anything but apparently a snake or some piece of trash. He's not sure. He didn't really. It just didn't ping for him. Thank God for your stunt, I guess.
Pretty much.
Oh, you still would have beaten a -3. Jesus.
I just got lucky.
It's one of the lowest rolls I've ever gotten in this or any campaign. For Fate. It's
just got real lucky.
Yeah. Well, you did it. You managed to evade notice. You have the information. You got stepped on, but it's okay. You're fine.
It's fine. I know. I'll unsquish when he's gone and slither back, looking pained.
Wait, so she's back out of there?
No, she's back with you guys.
Okay. Well, Enya's gonna put her back on her shoulder.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, there you are. I don't know where you went, but glad you're back.
I'm a little bruised, but I found the killer.
You what now?
It was one of the Valentines.
Oh. She's looking around. That's the thing that'll probably annoy the chief, won't it?
You presume I care?
Okay. Yeah, hey, Mikey?
Yeah, and he's got some bags that he's sealing up and writing on. Oh, is that Icepeak? Did you and he gets like closer to her. Did you find out what's going on?
I did. She's kind of like laying there on Enya's shoulder, kind of flopped over and looking a little bruised.
You didn't get hurt, did you?
And just poking her.
Don't
No, please.
Enya, don't do that. Here,
have-
and Mikey will take her and like let her kind of like mix herself in with his hair so that she just kind of gets lost. So Enya stops poking her.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, seaweed, and he just kind of like shakes his head a little, and so his hair just kind of.
I prefer a meteor target, but that is to say, I found the man we were looking for.
Oh, perfect. So you know what he looks like? We could. I'm guessing. And he's trying to talk like real quiet since she's like right there on him. He's like, "Is one of the Valentines?"
Yes, the blindfolded one.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to tell the chief, or am I gonna be the one to tell him?
I will tell him. It is my case.
Okay. I'm almost done here. There's just a few other things I've got to pick up the evidence cards, and then I've got everything else labeled, and I think we'll be good to go. Enya, do you have anything you need to do?
No, looking forward to reporting back to the chief.
Great. You can be there with Icepeak. I'm sure he'll need your emotional support.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, let me grab my stuff. And he starts kind of like rushing around and picking up everything and getting it all back in his bag.
Okay. So you want to make a presentation to the chief?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, we gotta go back and tell him what we just found. Another dead body.
Okay. The chief will see you in his office once you get back to the precinct. He is, well, he has to wrap up talking to a crying family. And then once he sees you, he holds up a finger and then takes time to kind of like usher them away from your direction. And then kind of motions for you to enter his office. What do you present him with exactly? Just the murder, the suspicion of the Valentines?
I probably start with a murder and the fact that this was the chef.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have like composite, I guess, evidence that Mikey took, photographic evidence of the face, and then your sketch, right?
Yeah.
He looks between the two comparisons, and then you inform him of the blindfolded Valentine guy, right?
Yeah, I do. I do inform him of what happened, the entire story.
Chief Mungo kind of rubs his chin. Okay. Easy open shut case. This Valentine guy here killed your girl, probably. Was in league with the organ trade because he's a scumbag. Tried to kill the chef because he's a witness and a business associate. All seems pretty much on the books.
We have nothing to tie him to the other murder.
No, we'll do that. Don't worry. I mean,
We'll do that.
He takes out a photo of like the foot and the hands and feet. Unless I'm mistaken, he looks at the hands and feet. Those are some pretty clean cuts.
Which most samurai can do.
Sure, but then he looks at the pictures of the chef. These look like some pretty clean cuts.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty smart.
Well, I mean, if I can just add, there's also the fact that we found, was it Heather? Hang on, I wrote a note somewhere.
Heather Bull.
Yeah, Heather. He goes, yeah, we also know that Heather was also sliced into several dozen, 100 pieces. These cuts are way too fast and way too clean for I mean, obviously a normal blade. And it seems to be kind of the MO of the killer.
Right.
Can I compare the cuts? Do they look similar styles even?
Sort of, yeah. They could easily be from the same sword.
But these are all just assumptions.
They're all just assumptions, yeah.
Maybe.
For a lamprey, Icepeak does not look pleased.
Icepeak, give me a brain trust roll, I guess. It's a 6. The angle at which the Heather's body was cut, like the various different cuts, imply that whoever cut Heather did it from the front, and whoever cut the chef did it from behind. And furthermore, Heather's arms are dissected in such a way that it looks like she raised them to defend herself. Like the blade would have passed through the line of the arm as she was holding her arms up in front of her face. The chef, on the other hand, way he's dissected, he didn't even see it coming. He had no idea. And that is really the biggest difference between these two. One is a upfront confrontation. It seems like Heather was aware of her attacker. The chef was basically assassinated.
The styles are different.
The chief just kind of looked like he was about to dial something on his phone. I'm sorry, the styles are different.
Yes, of the cuts.
He looks at them. They both look like bladed weapons, very slicey, dicey done. What do you mean?
This one was attacked from behind, and this one saw her attacker.
He puts down the phone. Look, I'm going to be level with you. You're facing a lot of heat from everybody around here. You close this case, we send in our samurai, it's done. People may go back to attempting to pretend that they like you. You keep drawing out this case, it won't be so easy. So I'm not trying to pressure you into just saying we should send Harlan and be done with this. But he looks at Mikey. Mikey's there, right? Mikey and Enya.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just looks around. He looks at both of you. Your friends here are going to have a little bit of difficulty unless you forget, I would say, that you think that these are two different styles and want to construct an entirely different narrative than the one that I think is far more satisfying. Just another Valentine scumbag.
If I can just say, Chief, there were 3 of them that were at the restaurant when we arrived. So any one of them could be the killer, or even all 3 of them if they were, I guess, working as a group.
Chief kind of just leans back in his chair and laughs. Let me remind you of the samurai code of conduct here in Stella Marie. There can only be 5 from each clan. That means you're now suspecting basically the bulk majority, or brought them in some way, of Valentine samurai. Thomas Tutone. This blind guy, I know who he is, don't worry. His name is Melon. And the other 2. Whoever they are.
Do you think they worked together? One was apparently a girlfriend.
I mean, Johnny, he could have killed Heather. I mean, they clearly had something, and she didn't feel the exact same way. But I mean, it could also be that because Johnny's so important to the Valentine clan, he gave the work up to people under him so that they would take the fall if it fell back on him. Then these 3 are the 3 that cleaned up his little, I don't know, relationship with Heather. I mean, she had to have known the killer for her to be able to be face to face, and she was defensive based on the cuts. We know that. So it was clearly an attack she didn't see coming at first. nobody came running up to her.
She was mid-transformation. That does not mean she could have known any of them. She is a prostitute. It is her job.
True. Yeah, and if she was mid-transformation, she would have probably been on the defensive, which means she would have at least seen them draw their blades before they struck her. I mean, my gut says that it's probably the three. If it's not one of them, then it's all three. If it's not the three of them, then they'll likely, if we apply the right kind of pressure, I guess they might turn in Thomas if he's the real killer. I don't think that three of them are willing to fall for one. Especially not since, only 5 are allowed. It's a numbers game.
If we bring Tutone in and he had any feelings for her and the others are the killers, would he start a fight?
I don't know. Maybe? I don't know would I know how bad like samurai infighting is? If that's like a common enough occurrence to.
They don't really talk about it, but samurai go missing all the time, so who knows? It depends on the clan.
I mean, maybe. I mean, samurai kind of come and go like the wind, so maybe, if they get tired of each other, they just kind of duel it out, and then somebody new gets thrown into the mix. Like I said, I think Thomas is too important to what the Valentines are doing right now for him to take a fall. So it makes sense that if he was going to do anything too dirty, that he might outsource it to someone who could stand to lose.
A passion murder? Outsourced?
Yeah, no, that is. Passion murders are usually done in the moment. They aren't something. They aren't something you work towards. It's passion murders aren't premeditated.
I think we call him in and see if we get a reaction.
Yeah, I mean, we may as well. Either he'll help us name the samurai, or he'll definitely give himself up by how upset he is that they're the ones that killed her.
I think the chief just wants us to get a Valentine on this. Either way.
The chief kind of just nods his head. It would be nice. They're kind of not so great. Bad kind of, foreigners come in, try to take advantage of everybody, that sort of thing financially. He just waves a hand to their assholes. So you want to wrap them up? We wrap them up. They'll just send more. Don't worry.
Let me attend to my plan. Worst comes to worst, we send our ninja in.
Okay, you're the lead, Icepeak. So we have to put our faith in you, even though, there's not much of you to put faith into.
I mean, that's just by volume. That's not
That's a good joke.
actually.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mikey just seems confused. He's not sure if Enya's actually laughing or if that's just like her trying to like. I understand human comedy.
No, the look in her face is genuine.
Yeah, just the cadence that throws him off, and just. Okay, we'll get Thomas in, sir.
Sure. All right. I'm leaving it up to you. And this time, no more dead bodies, please. I'd appreciate it.
I mean,
Just
we'll
as a
try.
personal favor. Okay, thank you, Mikey. I know you tried. Very good.
I mean, murderers are still gonna murder. That's why we're here.
That is
otherwise we'd be out of jobs.
You're not incorrect. It's just you just
I know,
kind
it's
of
not,
yeah.
It's a bummer.
It's a little bit of a bummer, Mikey.
It's supposed to
You
be
know how
sunny.
many dead bodies I have left today around? Just around.
No.
Well, half of me is gone.
True. Okay. Well, I wish you all luck, and I hope that by the time you return, that I get this case closed and we can move on to something else. I hear that there is somebody trying to. He flips through a few pages of reports. Looks like there's a scalper of poppy tickets that needs to be taken down in the trenches. So right up your alley. Right up your alley. He just stares at you all.
Yep, we'll get right on it after this.
Great, appreciate it.
No problem, Chief.
Okay, so you guys. So what is your plan exactly that you're going to do here?
I'm not sure if it will work, but I think call in Tutone and see if, like, name drop that his lover is dead and hint that we think it's a samurai from his clan.
I was gonna say, I mean, he knows Heather's dead, so we just need to really lean in on, hey, it looks like your other Valentine buddies were the ones that did her in. So what did they have against her and you?
Yeah. It's worth a try to bluff. And even if maybe he'll reveal something, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, or if anything, I mean, we've got the name of the blindfold guy. His name's Melon, so we could just be like, hey, what's with you and Melon?
What's with you and Melon? Yeah.
I mean, we could even do that like classic, like, he's in the other room, and we're like 90% sure he's the one that sliced her up. So like, what caused you two to have beef that he murdered your girlfriend? Because then either he'll handle it, or we'll definitely know we got the guy, and then we can get him.
Right. Okay. So you're gonna take that approach, yeah?
And I will write up a little like note on the interaction with Melon for Harlan. I don't know where to leave it, but like he'll probably need to know what the blind guy does if he's gonna eventually fight the blind guy.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. Harlan will get the note about the man in the blindfold. He will probably not hate knowing. I mean,
because it's illusionist and he's a first strike guy, so he's gonna need to know the first guy he strikes is not gonna be real.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll keep that in mind. You leave a note for him. You will be able to. So you're letting Thomas Tutone know, basically, that you want to talk to him about his missing girlfriend.
He did give us his
contact
number.
information. Yeah. You did get a text message back that says, "Swing on by my offices, and I will talk to you there."
Okay.
It's a small importing office. Well, it used to be. It's just sort of towards a pretty quiet part of town, somewhere in the southern part. He just wants to talk to you, it seems, and he'll be waiting there for you.
All right, sure. Who wants to go? I think I should take Towner. Yeah.
You're gonna take Towner?
Okay.
You're big.
Yes.
And intimidating. Usually I split it off into two, but I know we can all go. I don't know.
That's up to you guys. How do you want to deal with it? You can all go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's just go as a group this time. Why not? This is our last chance.
Okay. So you go as a group, together to investigate. The first thing you'll notice once you get to the offices is that the door is open to the office at the bottom. There's a long hallway, sort of leading towards the office where he said he would be. Do you want to go in to the offices? Any kind of preparation, anything before you enter this building?
How many of me are there? How much of a form do I have? Or am I like half of my size now?
We'll say you're probably half your size, yeah.
Okay. So I will enter as a very, very short version of me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You go in as a very, very, very small version.
Yeah.
As you go in, you notice that it's very quiet. There are other offices in this building, but there's nobody in them. This seems to be just a single occupancy, or like only one person's renting here right now. Towards the back part of the hallway is where the supposedly the office of Thomas Tutone is.
All right, back to the office, I guess.
Okay. Going into the office, you will notice that there are a few things a bit off. One of them is that there's a coat rack with one of Thomas Tutone's coats hanging off of it, and another one of his coats in the opposite corner,
Oh,
just lying on the floor. It's a very nice jacket.
he's on the floor.
Enya's gonna pick it up and dust
Okay.
it off.
It falls in half.
Oh,
Oh no.
What-
Why?
Well, I'm glad I brought this. And he like pulls out his bag and starts like he just pops it open to start pulling out little evidence cards, like the getting his camera ready.
You hear a voice, sort of as you mentioned that, kind of chime in. How many bags are there? How many bags did you bring?
Can I look around to see where the voice is coming from?
Yeah, you can. Seems to be when you look into the direction it came from, you don't see anything. Give me a gaze roll.
Okay.
You can tell there's something about space being warped here, but it's hard to tell exactly how. The two, unless you want to, you could fate point it, and you'll get a better read. You do have one fate point left.
Yeah, I'll invoke it and I'll use my bloodline. Because when it's invoked, I automatically find hidden details, including hints and invisible targets.
Oh, very nice. In that case, yeah, you notice that there are, now that you're looking at like where you're looking, you notice the air is bending as if you were looking in a slightly distorted mirror. And with that in mind, because you're looking at something that's behind you and it seems to be distorted, if you were to look behind yourself, you might actually see what you mean to look at.
Yeah, he'll do that like through his hat. Like he's obviously got like the one eye stalk that's in front, and then like using his hair kind of as like a natural foliage to hide his other eye stalk. It slides down the back of his head so he can see both in front and behind him in a weird like 360 mode.
Give me a I'm gonna say go ahead and give me a gaze roll against the 3. You might be able to. Oof. You take 2 physical stress as that eye stalk is just cut right off. And a man holding a what looks like a sword, a backwards katana, with another backwards katana, like kind of crossed over it. So it's just two. It's just 2 katanas, kind of like weirdly overlapping one another, and neither one of them is facing forward. Just kind of slices through the air, and then stares at the ice. It kind of like looks into your direction but doesn't move. It's like the last thing you saw was this strange double backwards sword and a man with a blindfold and that cut.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Mikey does like let out like a yelp.
This fight is about to break out. This guy has already attacked a cop. He doesn't seem to care. There's 4 of you here, but he is like operating on some kind of funhouse mirror principle right now, and only Mikey can really like perceive where he is in the room at the moment. I will say that it doesn't take long after Mikey lets out a yelp that you all begin to feel cuts occur like over your skin. It's not enough to pierce you yet, but it seems to be someone probing the air. These cuts are superficial, so they're not enough to actually do damage, but they are like kind of like glancing your arm, or occasionally like the side of your head. Shallow but sharp. Once those cuts like stop, the voice continues as it begins to circle around you. Mikey, you can still attempt to follow it with a gaze roll, but it's like now that he's done damage to one of your stocks, it might be a little difficult at the moment. You still have multiple stocks. You should be fine. You can actually regenerate that one like as he's talking, or begin to.
Yeah, he would immediately start, I guess, multiplying his eyes and trying to regrow back the one he has just to try and like see. Because that's really all he's about is, yeah. Like
Melon-
the scout thing is great, is for
Yeah.
seeing. The eyes are for seeing. It's all seeing.
Melon kind of begins talking. So, looks like they sent a couple cops, more than a couple. How many are there of you in the room right now? 1, 2, 3 cops. 4 cops? He kind of stops and then goes back to walking. His shoes are very loud, but the echo that's being cast around in the room is throwing you off if you're trying to like locate them by sound alone. You are mermen, so I mean, Blue. Yeah, Blue could be there. Absolutely. Yeah, Blue. You get your cigarette gets cut right in half in your mouth. Just falls right in half. He kind of waits for a moment. So 4 cops. That must mean that there are 10 cops. He pauses. Yeah, that makes sense. And then continues walking. You are here because of Thomas Tutone, and I'm afraid to inform you that he's moved on to a different location. I'll be picking up his accounts. Not that it matters. Why am I even telling you? He like, you can feel the air kind of buffet around you for a moment. And then John Towner, you're awake, right? Totally.
Yeah, dude, totally.
Oh my god. Give me a ride or die roll. Oof.
Whoa!
You feel a thick cut attempt to go through your arm, and then it can't pass through the bone, and the blade quickly retracts your arm. It was a deep cut, but it's not enough to go through and sever anything important, so you heal up like almost immediately. I'm not even gonna bother to roll. I don't think he's gonna roll higher. You know what? I will anyway. Whatever. Roll higher than the. Oh no, yeah, same. So he doesn't do any damage. Just pulls the blade out.
Yay.
Yeah, you're fine. But you probably, I mean, that did hurt. I won't make you do angry John Towner voice while you're about to go to sleep. The blade actually, once it's drawn back, you can actually hear a sharp from like crashing against the bone, and for a moment the air begins to solidify a little more, like your vision begins to correct, and you can sort of see a samurai trying to catch hold of his sword, which seems to be vibrating very violently. Once he catches hold of it though, and gets it to stop shaking, your vision goes back to being distorted. He just says, whoa, 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 whoa. Whew. That was close. Ugh, he shakes his head. Okay. So, 20 cops, mermen, here for Thomas Tutone. And then, he kind of stops for a moment. Some maniac with a sword chopped them to pieces. Oh no! We'll never solve that case because who would be able to kill 40 cops? That's insane.
Wait, no, your math is wrong.
No, I'm almost positive. 80. 80 cops.
No, not even half that.
Yeah, and Mikey's kind of shaking his head.
Well, 160, 320, doesn't matter. I'll cut every single one of them down, starting with those in the room. Valentine clan is number 1 in Guam. Did you know that we produce more qualified samurai at the corporate level than any other clan on Earth? It's true. When it comes to quality, think big. Think Valentine.
Yeah, that's really cool. You all should be proud of that.
Yeah, is that you guys have a tagline?
Yes. Here it is. You can feel the wind coming towards you of a blade being swung kind of right for like your neck and Enya's kind of at the same time because of where you're standing. this blow could decapitate the both of you at the same time as it's coming in. And you only see it, Mikey, like a second before it starts to come in. Like one of your eye stalks maybe picks up on it, that this blade is coming right in for you.
Yeah, I would make sure that we're both out of the way, or like, either move, ducking, whatever maneuver needs to be made so that does not happen. Yeah, I don't really have bones, so I could just slump my head in, but like, or yeah, just move my body in some unnatural way.
Yeah. Oof. Yes, so that's where we will. That's where we're gonna call the session. As you're like moving to dodge this blade, you can feel the wind coming in. There is a samurai with a blindfold, just swinging a sword, looking apparently into the opposite direction when he does too. Kind of like staring around, trying to figure out exactly where he's supposed to be cutting. Maybe he's not even sure. Who knows? But yes, that is the to be continued drop. I'm gonna have to reload my application. Hopefully it doesn't boot any of you out. It doesn't. Okay, cool. I don't think. Because it wasn't letting me do stuff. There we go. So that is the ending. You guys went to go see Thomas Tutone. Apparently he's been taken out or otherwise vanished from the island. You have a bunch of dead suspects. You have now a samurai just attacking you flat out at a location where you thought Thomas Tutone would be. That's what you guys got to deal with. The thing is, this guy was here. He's willing to throw down with the police. He must have some kind of death wish or something, or he just really hates the cops. This is not usually how the Valentines operate. So it's up to you guys to decide what any of this means for your case, and whether it clears Thomas Tutone in any way.
Just seems like this guy's throwing himself into the fire for the Valentines.
That easily could be the case. Like they will sometimes just throw themselves down for the clan. It's possible that is going to be the case here.
I mean, he is older and blind, so he's
They might not have just
expendable.
expected us to be, not cuttable by. They didn't expect us to be Towner.
Yeah, true. Distance, the chief looks on disapproval.
Disapproval, yeah. Good, very good.
Okay. So when we resume the session next week, I will have a full stat sheet up for Melon for you guys to see kind of like what his kind of key off his abilities or figure out what he does. It's pretty obvious he has some kind of space bending or illusory ability. You may remember from last campaign, some people with drift could do that sort of shit. Rizagiza did it, I think, a few times I know he did it at least once to you two. You haven't really had a whole lot of drift used against you, though. Usually it's used on your enemies by Kev or Rizagiza. You guys gonna try some talk no jutsu? Really?
I don't.
We got to get that information out of him. It's
Okay.
it's a modified talk no jutsu.
Okay. So we're gonna need to talk to him while trying not to die and killing him, is what you're saying?
Yeah, so we have to beat him up while getting the information so that we can indict him on the charges of murder at least 3 times. And
Again,
why
he's a
he went after
samurai.
Tutone. And then we
we
murder
don't get-
him harder. Because obviously we can't arrest a man who can summon a sword.
We just need information of whatever whatever he is here for. He's hiding something.
I mean,
Go down the conspiracy hole.
I'm sure as long as we put him down, whoever we have back at the station can write up some story that's convenient. As long as we have a Valentine samurai to blame it on.
No, that's bad cop work.
I mean, that's not what I'm just saying.
Bad cop work. We're not doing it.
They keep trying to make us do bad cop work.
We're not going to be like the actual cops. This is a fantasy game. We can do whatever we want, including be good cops.
Including
That's
fight,
the
No.
fantasy.
you can fight your chief when he takes on his final form.
Oh no.
The angriest.
Union rep.
Nah.
All right. So yeah, you guys will be able to also at some point build up combo stunts with one another as well, like Icepeak and Blue have done here. I'll let you kind of decide. I think Towner and it's probably likely that the Towner and Mikey have one together. I would imagine.
A big bet eating.
Yeah, something about eating a new
Good
generation.
Taurus.
And
Hang on, I'm gonna find something.
that leaves Enya and Claudia. You guys can all Enya and Claudia can have one. Just being friendly pals for like social combat. Actually, that's like not bad because you're a negotiator and she's a community outreach person. So
Yeah, that sounds pretty good actually. I was thinking like something to do with the bottlenose boys, but that works.
what about them? Like picking them up and throwing them?
Literally,
Hell
yes. Because that's where my brain's at.
They're very dense, so they could cause a lot of damage.
Oh no, do not throw your children.
They'll go
They're
right through a
bad
window.
kids.
Yeah.
I like
Pick
the
up-
social thing, though. I like that a lot.
All right.
Maybe some sort of morale boost.
Kind of like what I kind of like the bottlenose boys rolling up like cannonball and then someone slinging them.
Oh, but imagine swinging them into like this guy. That's what we're fighting.
Oh,
Fine.
Get him.
There's more. There's a
There's
bunch of
just-
them.
That's just yeah, but they'll all be addicted to like I don't know crab meat or whatever he's made out of in the end.
It's fine.
they'll be fine. They won't be traumatized. They're monster children.
Oh,
Screw them.
Next week I'm also going to have the just like you have a case sheet. There's going to be a city sheet that'll. I'm just going to keep it very simple. It'll have all of the factions with different values from 0 to 7. You're like whenever something needs to happen or a faction needs to accomplish something, they'll roll on that sheet against probably a passive opposition to determine just how easy or hard it would be for them to do something based on what makes sense. So it'll just be a sheet with like cops.